अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाह। अगर आपने अब तक फ़िज़िक्स की तैयारी नहीं की है या आप अपना सिलेबस रिवाइज़ करना चाहते हैं तो ये वीडियो आप ही के लिए है। द टॉपिक इज़ टॉर्क, एंगुलर मोमेंटम एंड इक्विलिब्रियम। MCQ number 1 is the physical quantity which produces angular acceleration is called option A angular momentum, option B centrifugal force, option C centripetal force, option D torque. The right answer is option D. The next MCQ is, suppose a person sits on a rotating stool and holds 2 kg mass in each outstretched hand. He drops these masses without moving his arm relative to his body. Then his option A angular velocity will remain unchanged, option B angular velocity will decrease but kinetic energy will increase, option C kinetic energy and angular velocity both will decrease, option D angular velocity will increase. The right answer is angular velocity will increase. The next MCQ is, torque is the option A time rate of change of linear momentum, option B time rate of change of angular momentum, option C time rate of change of angular velocity, option D none of these. The right answer is option B. The next MCQ is, the SI unit of rate of change of angular momentum is option A J dot second, joule dot second, Newton second, option C Newton meter. The right answer is Newton meter. The next MCQ is, if the force of F 2I minus 4J minus 3K, 2I in x-axis, 4J in y-axis and 3K in z-axis, Newton acting on a body pivoted at 2 meter from the axis of rotation along x-axis, then the magnitude of torque is option A 12 Newton meter, option B 6 Newton meter, option C 10 Newton meter, option D 8 Newton meter. The right answer is option C 10 Newton meter. The next MCQ is, in case of rotational equilibrium, the angular acceleration of body must. इस वीडियो में इस टॉपिक के वो तमाम MCQs और इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स मौजूद हैं जो अब तक डिफरेंट टेस्ट में आ चुके हैं। इस वीडियो में पास्ट पेपर के सब MCQs को कंपाइल कर दिया है, सो इट्स रिकमेंडेड टू वॉच द वीडियो टिल एंड. In case of rotational equilibrium, the angular acceleration of body must option A uniform, option B variable, option C 0, option D none. The right answer is option C 0. The next MCQ is, a hole in the middle of the meter rod which is suspended by means of nail which passes through the hole and slightly disturbed, then the rod will be option A stable equilibrium, option B unstable equilibrium, option C neutral equilibrium, option D all of them. The right answer is option A stable equilibrium. The next MCQ is, direction of movement of couple is dash to the plane. Option A parallel to the plane, option B anti-parallel to the plane, option C perpendicular to the plane, option D none of them. The right answer is option C. The next MCQ is, the product of moment of inertia and angular acceleration is option A angular momentum, option B couple, option C torque. The right answer is option C. The next MCQ is, the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity, option A angular momentum, option B couple, option C torque, option D none. The right answer is, the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity is called angular momentum. The next MCQ is, इस चैनल पे पहले स्टार्ट हुई है सीरीज़ फिज़िक्स की और आज हम उसका लेक्चर नंबर 3 पढ़ रहे हैं. अगर आपने अब तक लेक्चर नंबर 1 एंड 2 नहीं देखा है तो डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक मौजूद है, आप वहाँ से देख सकते हैं. MCQ is, the point which has purely linear motion is called option A origin, option B center of mass, option C neutral point, the right option is center of mass. The next MCQ is, the object in equilibrium may not have any force acting upon option A velocity, option B acceleration, option C torque acting upon it. The right answer is option B acceleration, but not the option D force acting upon it. The next MCQ is, The physical quantity which plays the same role in angular motion as force does in linear motion is called option A, torque. Option B, movement arm. Option C, speed. Option D, velocity. The right answer is option A, torque. The next MCQ is, it is easier to turn a steering wheel with both hands than with a single hand because option A, accelerating force increases on the wheel. Option B, two forces acting on the wheel. Option C, two hands provided grip. Option D, couple acts on the wheel. The right answer is option D. The next MCQ is, a paratrooper falling towards the earth in presence of air is in a state of equilibrium because option A, he is falling vertically downward. Option B, he experiences no gravitational force. Option C, force of gravity is balanced by drag force and upthrust. Option D, none. The right answer is option C. The next MCQ is, the angular velocity and angular momentum of body are always parallel. The next MCQ is, an object is in complete equilibrium possesses option A, neither linear nor angular acceleration. The right answer is option A. The next MCQ is, a physics professor is sitting on a rotational chair with his arm outstretched, each holding a load. The chair is rotating at constant angular speed. He then pulls his arms closer to his body. When he brings his arms in, his angular velocity increases. Option B becomes 0. Option C decreases. Option D remains same. The right answer is option A. His angular velocity is increases. The next MCQ is, when he brings his arm in, his angular momentum, option A remains same. Option B becomes 0. Option C increases. Option D decreases. The right answer is option A, remains same. The next MCQ is, torque depends upon. The right answer is force and momentum. The next MCQ is, torque acting on a body determines option A, velocity. Option B, linear acceleration. Option C, angular acceleration. Option D, direction of motion of body. The right answer is option C, angular acceleration. The next MCQ is, if you are finding value in today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Which one is not type of dynamic equilibrium? Option A, rotational equilibrium. Option B, static equilibrium. Option C, transitional equilibrium. Option D, all of these. The right answer is static equilibrium. The next MCQ is, the center of mass of a system of particles, option A, coincides always with the center of gravity. Option B, never coincides with the center of gravity. Option C, coincides with the center of gravity in uniform gravitational field. The right answer is option C. The next MCQ is, sum of all forces and all torque on a body is 0. The body will be in dash equilibrium. Option A, translational. Option B, rotational equilibrium. Option C, complete equilibrium. Option D, linear equilibrium. The right answer is option C. The next MCQ is, the rate of change of angular momentum is called option A, torque. Option B, force. Option C, momentum. The right answer is option A. The next MCQ is, why is it better to use longer spanner when one tightens a nut on a bolt? Option A, less force is needed. Option B, less torque is needed. Option C, less friction is needed. Option D, less work is needed. The right answer is option A. The next MCQ is, if the change in angular momentum of rotating body is constant, then torque acting on it is constant. Option C. The next MCQ is, if the net torque acting on a body is 0, then angular momentum of body is option A, constant but not 0. The right answer. The next MCQ is, which physical quantity is not directly involved in rotational motion? Option D, mass. Mass is not directly involved in rotational motion. The next MCQ is, when a driver jumps from diving board, he rolls his body to increase his option A, linear velocity. Option B, moment of inertia. Option C, angular momentum. Option D, the right answer is angular velocity. The next MCQ is, Moment of inertia depends on option A, volume of body, option B, mass and its distribution, option C, kinetic energy of body, option D, angular momentum. The right answer is option B. The next MCQ is, if Earth shrinks and its radius reduced to half of its original value, then the time to complete one cycle about its own axis will be option A, 6 hours, option B, 12 hours, option C, 18 hours, option D, 24 hours. The right answer is option A, 6 hours. The next MCQ is, a 400 Newton force acting on a body at a distance of 200 cm at an angle of R upon 6 rod. What is the torque produced? Option A, 100 Newton meter, option B, 200 Newton meter, option 3, 300 Newton meter, option 4, 400 Newton meter. The right answer is option 4, 400 Newton meter. The next MCQ is, a uniform rod 30 inches long is pivoted at its center. A 40 Newton weight is hung 5 inches from left end. Where must a 50 Newton weight be hung to maintain equilibrium? The right answer after calculation is 7 inches from right end. The next MCQ is, a uniform rod 5 meter long, weight 50 Newton. The force needed to lift one end of the plank is option A, 2.5 Newton, option B, 10 Newton, option C, 25 Newton, option D, 50 Newton. Calculate it and tell me its answer in comment section. If you find value in today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching at Learn and Earn. Like, share and subscribe.